7 Traits of a Woman Who Truly Walks with God. Faith refined. There are many women who believe in God. Many who pray. Many who attend church. But there is a difference. A deep, quiet difference. Between believing in God and walking with Him. A woman who truly walks with God does not announce it loudly. Her faith is not performative. It has been refined. Through waiting. Through loss. Through obedience that cost her comfort. This is not about perfection. This is about alignment. Today, we're talking about 7 traits of a woman whose faith has been refined. A woman who doesn't just know God, but walks with Him daily. If you recognize yourself in these traits, it's not pride. It's confirmation. Let's begin. Trait 1, quiet confidence, not loud validation. A woman who truly walks with God does not chase approval. She doesn't need to explain herself to everyone. She doesn't panic when she's misunderstood. Why? Because her identity is settled. Her confidence is not loud. It doesn't compete. It doesn't shout. It rests. She knows who she is in God. So rejection no longer shakes her foundation. She has learned that when God approves you, human applause becomes optional. You'll notice this about her. She doesn't overshare. She doesn't defend herself unnecessarily. She doesn't force people to see her value. She walks calmly, because she knows God sees her fully. This kind of confidence only comes when faith has been refined by seasons, where she stood alone and discovered God was enough. Trait 2, obedience over convenience. A refined woman chooses obedience even when it hurts. She has learned that God's instructions are not always comfortable, but they are always protective. She walks away when staying would feel easier. She waits when rushing would feel safer. She lets go when holding on would feel familiar. Not because she enjoys loss, but because she trusts God's direction more than her emotions. Obedience has taught her something powerful. That delay is not denial. That discipline is not punishment. And that God never asks her to release something without planning to restore her peace. She understands that convenience builds comfort, but obedience builds character. Her faith was refined in moments where obedience cost her relationships, timing, or pride. And she chose God anyway. Trait 3, gentle strength. This woman is soft, but not fragile. She speaks gently, yet she does not allow disrespect. She forgives, but she does not tolerate repeated harm. Her strength is quiet, steady, and rooted. She has learned that true power doesn't need aggression to be effective. She doesn't prove herself. She doesn't overpower others. She doesn't argue her worth. Her gentleness is intentional. Her boundaries are firm. This balance came from refinement. From seasons where she had to choose love without losing herself. She understands that Christ was gentle and still immovable. Trait 4, consistent prayer, not emergency faith. A woman who walks with God does not only pray in crisis. She prays in peace. She prays in routine. She prays when nothing feels wrong. Prayer is not her last option. It is her lifestyle. She talks to God before decisions, during confusion, and after blessings. Because she knows something many don't. That intimacy with God is built in quiet moments, not just desperate ones. Her faith was refined in seasons where prayer didn't change the situation immediately, but it changed her. And now, prayer is not forced. It flows. Trait 5, discernment over drama. She does not react to everything. She does not respond to every invitation. She does not explain herself to every critic. She pauses. She listens. She prays. She understands that not every battle is hers. And not every voice deserves access to her spirit. Drama thrives on reaction. Discernment thrives on silence. She has learned to ask God before she answers people. This trait was refined through painful lessons. Moments where she spoke too quickly, trusted too easily, or reacted emotionally. Now, she chooses wisdom. And wisdom keeps her at peace. Trait 6, humility that knows its worth. This woman serves without shrinking. She honors others without abandoning herself. She doesn't confuse humility with invisibility. She knows her value. But she doesn't weaponize it. She can sit quietly in a room and still know she belongs. She can uplift others without feeling threatened. Her humility is not insecurity. It is confidence under control. Faith refined her ego without erasing her identity. She understands that God exalts in His timing. And she doesn't need to rush His hand. Trait 7, fruit that speaks louder than words. You can feel her faith before she talks about it. There is peace in her presence, patience in her responses, kindness in her tone. She doesn't preach constantly. She lives consistently. Her life reflects love, self-control, faithfulness, and grace. Not because she tries to appear spiritual, but because she is rooted. Fruit is effortless when the root is healthy. Her refined faith shows up in how she treats people, how she handles disappointment, and how she waits on God. A woman who truly walks with God is not perfect. She is anchored. She has been broken, but not destroyed. Refined, but not hardened. She has learned that faith is not about performance, but relationship. And if you see yourself in this journey, it means God has been shaping you quietly, even when no one else noticed. Stay rooted. Stay obedient. Stay refined. Because when a woman walks with God, her life becomes a testimony, even in silence.